What's up, guys? Welcome back to a new project. If you haven't watched my last video or last couple of videos, I've mentioned something about this car. I recently picked this car up about 4 weeks ago, beginning of December 3rd, actually. It's a 96 Mk4 Supra NA Auto. It used to be NAT, and we'll get that to in a second. But yes, the hood's already out because I want to talk to you guys exactly give you guys a little bit of a background of this car, of what I know and what I see so far, and then the interior and also the trunk. So, for starters, yes, I picked it up. I'm not going to mention exactly how much I picked it up for at the moment. I'll tell you guys that when the whole car is done, which is whenever that's going to happen. But I did pick it up below market value. I could sell it easily the way condition it is and make up my money and maybe more if I want to. But my plan is to keep the car at the moment and build it. It's going to be a long couple of year project. I'm looking at I'm giving myself 5 years, but it'll most likely be maybe a year or two, probably 2. That's what I'm giving myself. But 5 years, long term, in case something happens along the way. So the car's Alpine Silver, for those who are not familiar with the color. And it does need a new paint job. And let me just show you guys. It was sitting outside for a very long time. Even on the hood, it's completely, the clear coat's been peeled off. And the previous owner, I believe I had it for about 15 years or 14 years. Was just sitting on his yard collecting leaves a little bit here and there. And I'm not sure if he really drove it the way it was. And it didn't start when I went to look at it and to purchase the car. It was leaking, for starters, it was leaking fuel out of this injector. As you can see, it's a little bit of wet over there. But like injector 1 and 2, it was literally soaking, it was like squirting fuel out from there. And the car was sitting in his garage. It's a brand new house, and I didn't want the car to catch on fire, and also the new house. Number 2, let me see if I can get this out to show you guys. You see that drip? That is oil. It's frozen up a little bit. I don't know if it's oil, water mixture, or what. I don't know exactly the condition of it. The car didn't run. When I went there, he was cranking it. He was cranking the crap out of it. He wanted to go get some starting fluid, and I said, nope, let's just leave it the way it is. The reason why I bought it, and before I went to go buy it, I should start off with that. I told myself that if it was not going to be running, I don't want to spend money for a shell. And my dumbass ended up doing just that. Because they were going to, either if I don't buy it, somebody will buy it for the asking price that he was asking for, without a doubt. So I was going to, obviously regret not purchasing it down the road. So I ended up pulling the trigger. Number 2, I should say number 3. It is leaking oil basically from everywhere. It's, as you can see, there's oil over there because at one point it was running, and so the cam seals were basically. I mean, you can see it's wet. I don't know if I can show you guys how wet it is in the video, but it's pretty wet. And then when I mentioned that this was turbo at one point, I'll show you guys. Look at that block plate. It was, I don't know exactly what the hell happened over there, but yeah, they blocked it, whoever took the turbo out. And the turbo's in the trunk. I'll show you guys that. So they had some headers on it. I'm pretty sure that's not factory. And it's a straight pipe basically all the way to the back. There is no rust from my understanding underneath the car when I looked at the car and inspected. And I inspected the car like when it was like negative some temperature, so I didn't thoroughly look at the car. But underneath the car, there is no rust, from my understanding so far. But things can change as I pull the motor out and all that stuff. Bumper, as you can see, it is, yeah, it's like that. The reason being is because I don't know what the hell happened. This bumper was taken out at one point. This was zip tied. This is bolted. It's held by bolts. It's not supposed to be bolts. It's supposed to be some plastic pieces. It's like a plastic screw from Toyota. So this is technically held by these 5 bolts. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I am planning on, obviously, I ordered the new retainers that goes on here. I got to figure out the bolts because when I've been searching Google for the bolts, exactly what type of bolts it uses and all the stuff, the part numbers. I kind of want to use all original Toyota parts, but at the same time, I may not find all original stuff. So I'm going to try to find as much as I can and use OEM stuff on this car, just because I would like to put it back to its originality. But at the same time, my goal is to make 1,000 horsepower, if not maybe a little more. Obviously, you know, the inline, the 2JZ, and also we're going to do a Granite kit on this car. So that's the goal on this car. So everything is going to be original, almost. Number, I don't know what number I'm at, but there is an intercooler on here, and look at this. Whoever did this welded onto this upper radiator support. Excuse me, upper radiator support. So this is going to completely come off. Once after this video, I'm going to go start taking apart the bumper. I'm going to go ahead and put the bumper on the hood. And then also the fenders. Let me give you guys an idea. Why I'm taking the fenders out is this is why. Like, whoever was had this car, obviously the previous owner, I don't know if he or somebody else, or maybe he may have given to somebody else to maybe possibly do a full paint job or maybe build it for him, and it just probably got paused. And that's why a lot of this stuff, it's like hanging. Like this is hanging, coming out. This is just, I can just pull this out if I want to. I kind of don't want to do it at the moment. And then obviously everything is missing underneath here, and I don't have it inside the car, from my understanding. So the fender is going to come out. It's held by 2 bolts at the moment. And then obviously like little things here and there. There's like a bolt broken over here. And then nothing on this end at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and take this fender out, the bumper out, and that fender out. And I'm going to leave it on top of the car. Maybe I'll store it somewhere else at the moment. While everything else is getting built in the engine bay wise. Another thing, this is hanging loose. I don't know what the hell's going on. I just gotta, I'm gonna go ahead and take this completely out, the body harness, and make sure that nothing is broken and nicely tape it back. So like it's completely open here. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. I don't know if it's been, chewed up or anything like that. So because it was been sitting outside. And then I also want to get this body checked out completely to make sure that it is not bent or frame is not bent, because this doesn't make sense to me right here. So I don't know at one point if this was in an accident or not. And the reason why I mentioned this is because the passenger side, the airbags part of it, it's like got screws and closed up weirdly. And then I don't think I have the original steering wheel on there, because there's another steering wheel. This one has the airbag and everything. The other one is just sitting in the car. So I don't know. It's an extra. I have a feeling maybe it may have been in an accident or something like that at one point. I don't know. I looked at the Carfax. It didn't say anything. Or I shouldn't say Carfax. It was like some weird online auto check. With the VIN number I checked, it didn't show up any accidents. So I really don't know the full history of this car. So at this point, it's going to get rebuilt completely. It's going to go have a nice straight body. If it's bent at, anywhere in the subframe wise. Or body wise. So yeah, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. So time to stand on the street corners. Let's look at one more thing. Oh, that, my folks, you see that? It's a dead bird. It's a little birdie. I don't know exactly how long that's been in there. I do need to get that out. I hoping that is the only dead bird that I'm gonna find on this car. Yeah. So that's the engine bay. I don't know exactly the status of this motor is until I pull this motor out, and we're going to talk about a little more of that in a bit. The interior, guys, the reason why I bought this car is because, sorry, let me get this. Okay. It's black. It's in decent condition. There's no rips on either seats. Yes, there are some stuff that came with the car. There's headlight pieces that came with the car. I mean, those are completely trashed, probably gonna throw in the garbage. There's some trim pieces. These are fender liners, I believe, or something. Not fender liners. It's something with the fender. It should go right. It connects to the fender on each side. There's some turbo stuff that came with the car. I think that's map ECU or something. There's a fan and there's a steering wheel there. All this is gonna get cleaned out. Like what I meant, the passenger airbag that I mentioned, it's screwed in. Like it's got weird screws here. So at one point, I don't know if it was blown or if it was just something happened with it. The doors, they have missing the speaker pods. I don't know if that's standard from factory or if that was drilled. I am looking for another set of the door panels for each side. But we'll see maybe if I can try to save this, and I gotta figure out, you know, these armrest pieces, and this is loose, so I gotta completely take apart. I haven't sat in this car since I bought it too. Yeah, it's got gauges, was it D5 or some, however you pronounce it. There's a boost gauge and an oil pressure and an air fuel ratio gauge. So all this shit's gonna come out. I already purchased this piece. I already have it upstairs in the box. I'm not gonna take it out until I'm ready to go ahead and put it on. I am gonna try to find a new piece. I just noticed that this is okay. This is loose, and then, you know, obviously trying to replace that piece. This piece, I believe, is, yeah, it's got a hole. I don't know if that's normal, if that was something was there. So this is gonna get replaced. That's gonna get replaced. This is gonna get replaced. This obviously gonna get replaced because when I go manual, which is down the road. The interior, the carpet wise, I don't know exactly the condition of it until I take the seats out and make sure there's nothing going on. If there's something serious going on, I'm gonna go ahead and get that carpet replaced. I do. Fernando at IP in Florida has a carpet for me ready for sale, so I might just end up buying it from him if the carpet is bad. The back carpets are obviously, you know, backside, it's just a little dirty. It's gonna need a full interior clean, but yeah, the interior is completely black. I haven't noticed any rips, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, it's a hard top as well, guys, so looking forward to that. And then lastly, let's talk about the trunk. It's full of parts. There is a massive CX Racing, which I researched and found out that it's a CX Racing manifold. It's fucking massive. I've never seen a manifold that big. I wish I could take it out. I don't feel like taking any of this junk out right now. So, but yeah, there's full of parts of this car, and this might be the underside part that I was just talking about. It probably goes on the passenger driver's side. There's a reinforcement frame or piece or something that goes on the front bumper. The intercooler piping in there, as you see, it's all this shit's gonna be going in the garbage. The manifold and all that stuff, it's gonna be posted for sale. There's a downpipe right there. Yeah. Oh, I gotta take the keys out. I'm having a hard time opening the key trunk with the key for some reason, because that's probably because of the all the stuff that's in the trunk, and then it's not fully closing properly, so I gotta be careful when I close it and not to damage the window. But yeah, on that, I mean, it's missing like trunk pieces, which I'm not too, you know, concerned about at the moment. I'll find it, but my goal is to get this completely emptied out, the interior completely emptied out, throw it as whatever I don't need in the garbage, and I'm replacing a lot of it already with, you know, Toyota stuff, OEM stuff that I already either finding on eBay or I'm finding it through Toyota. Like this piece, for example, what's it called, a window cowl or something like that. It is. I'm gonna replace this just because it's like, you know, weirdly broken. Doesn't have the weather seal here, and it's missing all the pieces, the clips. I bought those clips already brand new, thinking I was gonna use this, but I'm gonna end up buying this new. eBay, as well as Toyota, the thing sells for $300, which is freaking annoying. I don't know why this piece is $300 when this upper support piece is like $150. It makes zero sense to me. So that's gonna get replaced. A lot of this is gonna get replaced. I just wanted to give you guys a background of this car a little bit, and yeah, it's rust free from my understanding, from how I inspected the car. I just didn't thoroughly inspect the car as an engine bay and everything else wise when I purchased, when I looked at the car and purchased it, just because it was too damn cold and I was too geeked out, you know, looking at a Mark 4 and about to purchase a Mark 4, so I was a little too geeked out. But yeah, the goals with this car, as I mentioned, yeah, it's gonna be a 5-year project that I've given myself. Might get done within a couple of years, who knows. It all depends on the funds and how much side jobs I do, aside from, you know, purchasing parts and trying to get this car running. Original goal was to go ahead and get this motor out and inspect it and try to save it if everything looks good, and trying to get this running. And back into, obviously reseal it, clean it up, everything, and get it back into running condition. And then, just get the engine bay painted and just be able to drive it for the next 2-3 years until I'm ready to do a full out build. But as of now, it's looking like I might just go ahead, pull this out, pull all the body harness out, pull as much as I can out, get the engine bay completely evaluated by a body shop, obviously get everything out, like master, brake master, cylinder, everything out. Get it under a frame, the frame, to adjuster, and make sure the body, everything is good in the engine bay wise and stuff. And then obviously replacing everything with new stuff, get the engine bay painted. I was planning on changing the color of the car. I might just end up keeping the silver just because it's the original color. I'm not too picky of like, oh, I need to keep everything original. I don't really give a shit. The car is going to stay with me forever. I'm just going to go ahead and keep it silver because it's just a different color that you don't often see. I don't want to do red because that's the most common color on this Mk4 Supra. I'm always planning on doing the deep green. I'm not even planning on doing that. Definitely not doing RSP color because I don't want to be a poser, and I'm definitely not doing anthracite either. Not that I hate these colors, I just don't want to be a poser, so I'm just going to end up keeping the same color the car is originally built for. So the silver may end up just staying, but who knows? Things can change along the way. I might end up changing my mood in different colors, so who knows? But yeah, another thing I did excuse me, I did purchase an automatic transmission. This is out of an NA. Like I said, I was planning on putting the motor back together and try to just get it running. Who knows? I might end up doing that, driving it for 2 years after I get it running. All depends on when I pull the motor out. Because I know this was in a running condition when it was pulled. I don't know what the hell's going on with this car. So I ended up getting a drive shaft, converter, and also the trans. And some miscellaneous parts with it as well. I think it's underneath the car. So a couple of plans with this car. Back to that topic. Pull the motor out, see if I can save it, if I can possibly get it running and back to running condition to be able to enjoy it for the next couple of years before I do a full out build. Number two, if the motor is bad, I don't want to go spend another $1,500 to $2,000 on an NA motor, which I already found one for $1,500 in Illinois. I don't know if I want to do that route, that route, because I could use that money towards the paint and everything, and we'll see. Or pull the motor out, might just get everything situated, park this car at my parents' house, my black car, bring that back here, because I do want to finish some things on that car, like the rear subframe bushings, and get the diff rebuild, and small stuff in the trunk, because I've been smelling a little fuel because of the trunk that was cut up. So that's a whole different project. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out which route I want to go with this, because this is going to cost me a lot of money to do. The motor itself with the trans and all that stuff is going to cost me 20 grand, I believe, because the transmission is now from Grannis is about almost $10,000. The motor build obviously is going to cost me a good amount of money, just because I have to do a full out build to handle 1,000 horsepower. Why 1,000? Just because that's a goal that I want to set up myself to be able to accomplish. This is not going to be a drag car. This is going to be a street car for me to be able to just take it on the weekend and enjoy. I'm not planning on racing with it. It's just something that I build to enjoy and just clear my mind. So yeah, that's going to cost me a lot of money. I don't know exactly how much the paint stuff is going to cost. I haven't even, I've reached out. I haven't got a quote yet, but let me get the motor out first, everything out first, inspect the car, get it to the body shop, and we'll go from there exactly how much it's going to cost. So that's just the background, guys. Quick background. Stay tuned. This is going to be a fun project. It's going to be a long project. And I'm not cutting short on any of this stuff, hopefully. We'll see along the way what happens. But, yeah, stay tuned. Lastly, thank you, everyone. I believe I just reached 401 subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate that, everybody that's subscribed to my channel. I'm sorry I talk a lot. I do try to be informative. I try to help others. I try to answer as much as I can. I try to show you guys exactly how certain things I do can help you with your build, or you may get better ideas to either do it better than what I did. So I try to be informative as possible. I try to help everyone. I try to do things to show you exactly how it's done for those who are new to this platform or trying to swap yourself. So I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you. I'm going to continue to do what I can to help the community, and hopefully you guys can enjoy my builds. I'm going to try to do my best to edit videos, to add music, and not try to make long videos. But but at the same time, I'm trying to be helpful and be very informative. So I appreciate everybody that's subscribed, and I hope you guys can help, tell your friends to subscribe my channel and hopefully help grow my channel. On that, thank you. Stay tuned for more.